Hello guys, it's Peyton here. Today I'm going to be doing a toolbox tour. Um, these are just all of my tools that I have acquired over some time, and I've always wanted to do a video like this where I showcase my stuff. I'm sure that if I am passionate with this career, I'm sure that I will acquire more tools in the future, but right now this is what I have. It gets the job done. So starting off, we have this ginormous US General Series 3 that I bought from Harbor Freight. Really cool box for the price that it is. Definitely glad that I made this decision to buy this one instead of like like a $15,000 Snap-on box. Definitely was a good choice. Not in debt. From a big purchase like that. And also I have another toolbox. It is it's kind of like a tool cart box, but not really. It's another US General, but this one is a 22 by 72 inch. This one, don't know, don't remember, don't care, to be honest. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and start with the top drawer. There's not really too much in here for now. It's all of my standard stuff. And then I have a metric impact set. And then I have, Allens, Torx, inverted Torx, extended Torx and Allens. And then in here I also have the Snap-on torque wrenches. Pretty cool. I got really good deals on these too. That's why I bought them. I really don't know. If I had to pay the full price for these things, which they were still expensive, I really don't know if I would purchase these again. I mean, they get the job done. The reason why I say that is just, there are other tools out there that can do the same exact thing as these two things. So these sockets are the Matco sockets, the ADV brand. Pretty good bang for your buck, I'm not gonna lie. These are 12-point Pittsburgh sockets, standard. They're pretty good. Really cheap socket set, 1/2 inch. That's kind of why I bought it. This is Snap-on shallow, intermediate, and deep standard sockets, 3/8. Pretty cool. Really don't use the standard stuff as much as I use the metric stuff. These are, what are these? Matco ADV impact standards, shallow and deep. Then I have 1/4 inch. I believe these are Cornwell standard, chrome, shallow and deep. I really want to finish all of these sets out. I just really don't have the necessity to do that right now. Then we have impact standard 6-point 1/4 inch sockets. I got a really good deal on these sockets. They were the Cornwell guy is a really cool guy. I really mess with Cornwell the most with the tool truck brands. Cornwell's a really good. I mean, they sell good tools for cheap. I really like Cornwell. I probably mess with them the most. So then we have spark plug sockets, swivel extended. These things are pretty cool. These are Astro. I bought these from the Mac guy. He's a pretty cool dude as well. And then some more spark plug sockets from Cornwell. These are pretty cool. Swivelies. Big old swivelly dude. Swivel dude. We have the really long boy right here. The stupidly long boys. I really don't know what you would use these for. I never had to use them for anything. Next drawer. This is a bunch of stuff in here as well. These things are really cool. They're really fun, but anyway, this is a Capri extended locking flex head ratchets. Really would like it if these things would have like if it would stay unlocked, you know, it'd swivel without you having to press this button all the time. That would be really cool. These things, and these things work good. The bomb wrenches, or I think they really call these the box end wrenches. These things are really handy, and they get into tight spaces really well, really effectively. And they're a pretty good set. Then we have picks, radiator picks from Snap-on. I did not buy these. They're pretty good picks. I use them a lot, quite frequently. And then I have some unorganized icon crow's feet metric. And then we have the standard icon wrenches. Make a cool beat with that. Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're just like the standard. They're not like the the extra grip ones. Icon makes some pretty good stuff. So this drawer we have, as y'all saw, some AC equipment, R1234YF stuff. I do have a R134 gauge. I don't know where the heck that thing's at. Where did I put that? Should probably find that. Anyway, this is the really, oh hey, I was looking for that. This is the really expensive refrigerant stuff. If you have this stuff, you're probably going to be paying like, 50, 40 bucks a can for that stuff. I have hose clamp, pliers, I guess you would say. This set is handy. It is really handy. I use this stuff a lot. I use this plier set a lot. So much so that I bought 2 of them. And I have a compression set for gasoline engines from Snap-on. Pretty good tool. You definitely don't want to cheap out on anything like this, but there are good quality tools that are cheaper than this, definitely. Let's see, next, what do we got? Plier drawer. This thing is pretty cool. I've ended up using it once. I use these quite frequently. They clamp off any hose that need to be clamped off, like a radiator hose or whatever you need it to. These are pretty cool. These are snap ring plier sets from Matco. I do a lot of transmission work, or at least I used to, so these came in handy a lot. Other set, a smaller set. Yeah, these things are pretty nice. I remember when I first looked at these things and they came in and I saw the packaging that they were in, I was like, whoa, this is a nice tool. But whenever I realized what Matco really is just a distributor and not really a manufacturer. I mean, I think they manufacture their ratchets, which is pretty cool, but I really wouldn't buy a Matco ratchet, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm sure they work, but I've heard some stories about them that I didn't like. This is a really cool snap ring plier. Main reason why I bought it, if it'll focus. These things have that little 90-degree curve right there. I remember why I bought these. I was trying to get out that snap ring for the output shaft on the 4L60E. There's that little snap ring on it's kind of like near the bottom of the case. And these like type of snap ring pliers really help out to get that snap ring up out of there. Okay, let's go to the next drawer. This is my specialty drawer. This camera's having a hard time focusing. Specialty drawer, a bunch of air guns, dial indicator sets. This thing comes in really handy. You like mount this on to whatever you're working on, then you thread this into this hole, and then you attach the dial indicator right here. This set's really handy. I use it a lot for checking clutch pack clearances on transmissions. Really handy set. Yeah, also the dial indicators. This is for a NV4500. It's for that big old 5th gear nut on the back of it. The things are really bad about that 5th gear nut. I believe it's 5th gear backing out. And so I bought this tool so that I can properly torque that nut. I believe that thing torques like 250 foot-pound or something like that. But some people even torque it even higher than that, like the 300 range, or just as far as you can go. And they put that green Loctite on it as well, Loctite 620. So that sucker stays on there. There's nothing really bad about going out. And bit driver set. I have never used this thing. I got it from my grandpa. Thank you, Grandpa. But I've never used it. Disconnecting set, you know, typical disconnecting set. A whole bunch of miscellaneous junk that needed to be organized. Battery for the gun right there. Disconnecting set. There are a bunch of like testing wires, you know, like this stuff. Testing safety glasses, ear protection, filter wrench, oil filter, wrench thingy-mabob. Pretty cool. This thing is pretty cool back here. This is from Snap-on. It is I believe this thing is impact rated for 3/8 impact. For like really hard to reach places. You put your impact gun right here, and then it has a 3/8 thing on the other end of it. It's pretty cool. It's a really good tool. I've never used it, but today I do use it. I'm gonna be glad I have it. This thing is a pretty cool little tool. It is for, I believe it is for the Allison 1000 series transmission. What you do to this thing, you mount it, I think, to the PTO cover. So yeah, you mount this thing to the PTO cover and you drill a hole into the case. This is for better lubrication for the C3 clutches. There's a problem with the C3 clutches not getting that much lubrication. Really cool tool, really cool idea. Thank you, Aftermarket, for making stuff better. This stuff is injector cup removal and installation. Yeah, this is really cheap Amazon set that, yeah, I had a fun time messing with that thing. I think that's it for this drawer. Let's go next. Air hammer stuff, 90-degree. Scotch-Brite pad thing, 1/4 inch impact, air impact, or driver. The Mishimoto cooling system pressure tester kit, pretty cool stuff. This thing really comes in handy. But yeah, this thing comes in pretty handy a lot. It has a bunch of adapters for a bunch of different cars. And this set was pretty cheap. It was only like maybe $100 for this thing. Not too bad at all. Brake caliber, depressor tool, really cool tool. Let's go to the next one. Power drawer, bunch of stuff in there. Yeah, kind of a Milwaukee guy. Zip ties, of course. This is another pressure tester. Really cool little tool. It actually is not a hand pump system. You attach it to the shop air and then you pressurize it. It's a lot quicker than pumping it by hand. The other one, you're sitting there and you're just like pumping on that thing. It kind of gets tiring, I'm not gonna lie. The other thing right here, this thing is really having a hard time focusing. This is a diesel compression tester kit. Has a bunch of stuff in here. I did not need to buy this. I don't know why I bought this. So this stuff is pretty cool. It has a whole bunch of like compression testers for diesels. Don't even know what half the stuff is. I know what this one's for. This is for a 6.0 power stroke for the glow plug hole. Pretty cool set. Really bought it, never used it. So other side. This is a borescope from Vivor. Pretty cool stuff. I used to have paperwork in here as well. It's kind of like a junk drawer slash hardware drawers. Bunch of hardware, stickers, lights. Some pretty cool Loctite stuff. This stuff is supposed to be permanent Loctite retaining compound. I believe this is blue Loctite. I have some red Loctite as well. Batteries, all the good stuff. This is a punch drawer slash electrical wire repair. These things are really cool. They really quicken up the wire repair part. I've had good luck out of these. I know some people really don't like these things. I've had good luck with them. You know, I've used it for a lot of vehicles, and you know, this bought this kit off of Amazon. Pretty cool kit for wire installation stuff, and it has like actually has glue inside, or is dual walled, adhesive lined. Yeah, pretty good stuff. It has glue in there as well. Extra seal protection, really cool stuff. This is a electrical diagnostic stuff. This ECT 3000 is a short finder. It finds the short in the wiring harness for you. Pretty cool stuff. I've used it once. Spark tester kit, back probe piece, another spark tester kit. This is bits and driver bits. I mean, like bits as in like Phillips, Torx, Allens, and also drill bits as well. Of course, you know, I have the iconic Max set. Really good warranty. Only reason why I bought it. Really good lifetime warranty on these things. Really cool. Now, these Matco drill bits are really awesome. They are expensive though. Really expensive. Get it open. And I've broken one of them. Broken a couple of them. So these things have stepped on the drill. They have like little steps on the tip of the drill. And them things just eat through metal. Like it'll demolish a piece of work. And they eat metal. They're really good drill bits. Yeah, you pull these out, you're not wasting any time drilling that hole. You know, freaking forcing your hand down, trying to get that drill to drill that hole. You're just like trying to manhandle it, and things just eat all day long. I really like them. This is another Harbor Freight drill bit set. Kind of went crazy on drill bits, I'm not gonna lie. This thing has a bunch of different drill bits in it. It's kind of the main reason why I bought it. It has a bunch of different drill bits. If you ever need a drill bit, get this thing. And then it has more bigger drill bits. Kind of a cheap boxing, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it gets the job done. More drill bits. Really cool, handy set if you ever need a drill bit. I've actually, 1/4-inch drill bit, I was using it the other day. Had to cut it to, you know, make it work with what I was doing. You know, this set is really cheap, so, you know, you do whatever you want with it. It's kind of like the sacrificial drill bits, I'm not gonna lie. If I need to do anything with a drill bit, this is the set that I'm doing it with. This is a specialty drill bit. It's a 17/32 drill bit. I was working on this, actually that NV4500, and I stripped out a bolt hole and I needed to helicoil a bolt hole. Last drawer, power probe, really handy. This guy, Scanner Danner, shout out to him. It's some really good stuff on electrical diagnosis stuff, and he made a book. It's actually the book that he teaches out of. Probably shouldn't show that. Yeah, pretty cool dude. Really recommend him. Astro stuff. This is a pretty cool set. Really heavy. I've never used it, but one day I will, hopefully. Is a impact swivel set. Pretty cool set. I think they just came out with the updated version of these things, so that kind of stinks, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty cool set. I think that's it for this thing. Yeah, that's it. Move on to the second box. So we got the 1/2" stuff back here. This is a Pittsburgh set from Harbor Freight. This is actually a Matco set. Yeah, Matco 1/2" standard 6-point. Goes from 10 all the way up to 27, and then I believe it starts skipping some back here. Anyway, the biggest one is at 36 millimeter. It was biggest socket. This is a snap-on set that I bought. Adapter set. Pretty cool stuff. So I have the 1/4" metric 6-point shallow, intermediate, deep. And this is a little grip edge. There we go, grip edge stuff. Grip edge is really good. They're just really expensive. I believe like a full set of the metric extractor set like this socket is, I believe it's like a couple $100. And it doesn't even include the 8 millimeter. It's from 10 to like 19. And then, you know, you start looking for the 1/4" set because you want smaller stuff. And then it's probably from, I believe, maybe from 5 or 5.5 to like, I think 15. And this set is like $200. Really good stuff. I mean, it gets the job done, definitely. I've had to use this thing a lot. Well, I've used it once for something. That's why I bought it. Then we have snap-on shallow, intermediate, deep 6.38 sockets. Really cool socket set. Swivelies, impact swivelies from Matco. These are actually snap-on inverted Torx. This is actually snap-on standard shallow swivelies. These things are really cool. Look at these things. These are Titan swivel adapters. Well, it's not an adapter, but 1/4" swivel. And the thing about these is that it's spring-loaded, so it'll actually return back to its normal state. Just really handy. Comes in handy. The really expensive snap-on swivel 1/4" sockets. I broke the 14 somehow. Need to get it warrantied out. Another shallow swivelies. These are actually Tecton 3/8 swivelies, swivel sockets. I have the standard and metric. Sorry, standard and metric. These are pretty cool. I've had to use these a lot. I've used them a lot. There we go. Really cool set. I'm glad I bought these. Really cheap. Really good bang for your buck. I'm not gonna lie. This is a Matco product. Here, it's a big old pry bar that, yeah. And then we have pry bars. Got these from Harbor Freight. Bell housing extension, another pry bar. I've had to modify this one. I modified this one for separating transmission bell housing from the back of the engine block. For the next drawer, we have ratchets, extensions. These two sets are pretty cool. This is a 3/8 and 1/4 inch shallow, extra shallow sets. I believe that's what it's called. Anyway, this set's really cool. It has a shallow, this is snap-on, shallow 3/8 driver with this shallow sockets. If it'll freaking focus, my goodness. The 12-point, really handy set. I use it a lot. Same thing over here, 1/4 inch though. Except this is a pass-through system. It's pretty cool. And then they have a bit adapter right there, and they have all the shallow sockets. Really handy set. I do use it a lot. And then I have over here really long extensions, 3/8, 1/4 inch. And I have a really long 1/2 inch one right here. Tape, electrical tape. These things are pretty cool. These little organizers. I bought these off of eBay. They're really cool. Really help you organize your extensions. Anyway, second drawer to the wrench drawer. A lot of icon wrenches from like 6 to 24. Then have standard Matco ratcheting wrenches, metric ratcheting wrenches. This set is not missing one. It actually just doesn't come with the 9, I believe it is. Yeah, that's an 8. And then this is a 9. It just doesn't come with it. Then you have stubby, metric ratcheting wrenches. Pretty cool stuff in there. Also, you may be wondering why I have pin needles in here. This is for back probing electrical connectors. Really comes in handy. A trick that I learned in school at TSTC. Really cool stuff. And we have pliers, plier drawer. These things are really cool. I use these a lot. They are hose clamp pliers from Matco. Really cool set. Anything else cool in here? Of course, you got the classic Knipex pliers. Really cool set. Long reach. Needle noses. Oh, these things are pretty cool. So they have, if it'll focus. Yeah, there we go. They have these are for hose clamp pliers, again, for cooling systems. There are these really cool things in here that go on to the end of the hose clamp. And it's in like the, this form, if it'll focus, in this form of plier. This is really cool. Yeah, of course I bought these from Matco, but Knipex manufactures them. And, some electrical pliers, crimpers, wire strippers. This stuff's pretty cool. This is some icon stuff. I believe they call this like the parrot pliers or something like that. Kind of looks like a parrot in a way. It's pretty cool. And it has like a leverage mechanism on it as well. So whenever you're turning it this way, it like actually clamps down on it, on the nut, a lot better. Really cool stuff. And it actually has markings on it. Focus. Markings on it. Let's go to the next drawer. Screwdrivers, picks, some Allen keys here for some reason. Man, I really wish this thing would focus. Then we have mirror, plastic popper deal. Yeah, it's kind of just drivers, picks. Oh, this stuff's pretty cool. you don't have one of these, I would really suggest you get one. This is for those plastic clippy deals, clip thing. Pretty cool. Let's see what's next. Hammers, voltmeter, little wire poker deals. Test light, you need a test light. And then some more jumper cables for testing whatever. This is really handy for electrical stuff. You know, you like hook it up to if you need a positive in the back of the vehicle, you hook it up to the positive battery terminal, and then it'll reach to the back of the vehicle if you're trying to test something. Same thing with the negative side. You know, if you're trying to test a circuit for anything. Wrench extender. This thing is pretty cool. This thing is a O2 socket wrench thing. Really cool tool. I find myself every single O2 sensor that I take out with this thing. In my opinion. Icon hammer, really cool tool. Pittsburgh soft bead hammer, plastic hammer. Really cool. And then we have the electrical drawer. I'm a Milwaukee guy. Only reason why I bought this Snap-on is because of the rocker trigger. Really awesome stuff. Yeah, I have a bunch of electric ratchets, impacts, really cool stuff. Not really anything too cool in there. But yeah, I think that's it for the Toolbox Tour. Yeah, so I want to say some more stuff about tools. If you're trying to get into this industry, like the mechanic industry, to be honest, you really don't need to be spending that much money on really expensive tools. Like, you know, I know a lot of people who, you know, buy a really expensive toolbox, but then they have nothing, you know, they spend all their money on it, or they're still paying it off and they don't really have too much more money to buy tools to fill their box, you know. So, you know, sometimes you just have to be smart with your money and watch what you buy. I mean, if you can afford it, you know, like why not pay the big price for a big old Snap-on toolbox, or, you know, all that good stuff. But like, dude, some of these toolboxes on the truck, they're going for like 15 grand, and it's not even as big as this one, dude. Yeah, just, you know, work with what you got, bro. Work with what you got. If it'll get the job done and it'll get it done professionally, then, you know, that's good. There are definitely some stuff that I wouldn't cheap out on, you know, like sockets, ratchets. But, you know, there are also, you know, other companies that are making really good products, you know, like Astro, Capri, Texton, Koken, Icon. You know, there's a whole bunch of other brands that you can buy from. You know, really like the main thing is like whenever you get onto the tool truck, a lot of that stuff is just like, you know, rebranded, or, you know, they're just distributing it from their tool truck. I mean, like, you could also become a professional mechanic, like ASC certified master tech, or, you know, like any dealer master tech, you know, because I know they have schooling for the dealerships. You can become a master tech and not step a foot on the tool truck, I would argue. I mean, it's really convenient to have a tool truck at your shop, but you don't have to get on it. You can very easily buy tools off the internet. And that's kind of what I was getting to earlier, was the main thing that you buy on the tool truck is the warranty. Because, you know, you just, like, you know, you say you break your tool, you hand your tool to the guy and like say, hey, take care of it for me, please. And, you know, he does it. But instead, if you buy the tool offline, you know, you're going through the warranty process and everything to get the tool warrantied out, if it has, you know, lifetime warranty on it, which, you know, most of these tools do, but some of them don't. So one thing I wouldn't buy from a tool truck is lights. I would not buy a light from a tool truck because you tend to lose it, you tend to break it. You know, those are the main two. You lose it or you either break it, and them things cost like over 100, near to $100 per light on the tool truck. I mean, I know that there are some cheapo ones. No, those are all right, but still, if you buy a light from a tool truck, it does not come with a warranty. There's no warranty on a light, like an electronic rechargeable light, kind of like this one. This one's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's called the gooseneck light. I bought this one off the tool truck, but you really don't have to buy a light. I bought this one off of Amazon. It's really cool. I seen a friend using it. I was like, that's pretty cool. And it's pretty cheap. Yeah, I really wouldn't buy a light from a tool truck. You know, I would just stick to something cheap like this thing. You know, if I lose this thing was only like, I believe for a set of two, it was only like $20. So, you know, it's a lot less more grief if you lose this thing than if I were to lose this thing. But yeah, it's kind of like my wisdom from the automotive community with certain stuff. I could talk about a lot of other stuff, but probably not going to. So yeah, hopefully y'all, you know, enjoyed this video. I hope that this encourages y'all to get into, you know, just whatever you want to do, bro. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Yeah, so I want to say some more stuff about tools. If you're trying to get into this industry, like the mechanic industry, to be honest, you really don't need to be spending that much money on really expensive tools. Like, you know, I know a lot of people who, you know, buy a really expensive toolbox, but then they have nothing, you know, they spend all their money on it, or they're still paying it off and they don't really have too much more money to buy tools to fill their box, you know. So, you know, sometimes you just have to be smart with your money and watch what you buy. I mean, if you can afford it, you know, like, why not pay the big price for a big old Snap-on toolbox, or, you know, all that good stuff. But like, dude, some of these toolboxes on the truck, they're going for like 15 grand, and it's not even as big as this one, dude. Like, good news. That's a lot of money. But yeah, just, you know, work with what you got, bro. Work with what you got. If it'll get the job done and it'll get it done professionally, then, you know, that's good. There are definitely some stuff that I wouldn't cheap out on, you know, like sockets, ratchets. But, you know, there are also, you know, other companies that are making really good products, you know, like Astro, Capri, Texton, Koken, Icon. You know, there's a whole bunch of other brands that you can buy from. You know, really, like, the main thing is, like, whenever you get onto the tool truck, a lot of that stuff is just, like, you know, rebranded, or, you know, they're just distributing it from their tool truck. But dang, what was I saying? But yeah. Dang it, what was I saying? I mean, like, you could also become a professional mechanic, like ASC certified master tech, or, you know, like any dealer master tech, you know, because I know they have schooling for the dealerships. You can become a master tech and not step a foot on the tool truck, I would argue. I mean, it's really convenient to have a tool truck at your shop, but you don't have to get on it. You can very easily buy tools off the internet. And that's kind of what I was getting to earlier, was the main thing that you buy on the tool truck is the warranty. Because, you know, you just, like, you know, you say you break your tool, you hand your tool to the guy and, like, say, hey, take care of it for me, please. And, you know, he does it. But instead, if you buy the tool offline, you know, you're going through the warranty process and everything to get the tool warrantied out, if it has, you know, lifetime warranty on it, which, you know, most of these tools do, but some of them don't. So one thing I wouldn't buy from a tool truck is lights. I would not buy a light from a tool truck because you tend to lose it, you tend to break it. You know, those are the main two. You lose it or you either break it, and them things cost like over 100, near to $100 per light on the tool truck. I mean, I know that there are some cheapo ones. No, those are all right, but still, if you buy a light from a tool truck, it does not come with a warranty. There's no warranty on a light, like an electronic rechargeable light, kind of like this one. This one's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's called the gooseneck light. I bought this one off the tool truck, but you really don't have to buy a light. I bought this one off of Amazon. It's really cool. I seen a friend using it. I was like, that's pretty cool. And it's pretty cheap. I'm gonna wipe off this camera lens real quick. Yeah, I really wouldn't buy a light from a tool truck. You know, I would just stick to something cheap like this thing. You know, if I lose this thing was only like, I believe for a set of two, it was only like $20. So, you know, it's a lot less more grief if you lose this thing than if I were to lose this thing. But yeah, it's kind of like my wisdom from the automotive community with certain stuff. I could talk about a lot of other stuff, but probably not going to. So yeah, hopefully y'all, you know, enjoyed this video. I hope that this encourages y'all to get into, you know, just whatever you want to do, bro. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.